when I was doing my research, one of the things that I noticed that feminists were preaching about being a victim is that women are the greatest victims of violence from men, right? And that women are murdered more than men in the US. So the actual statistic is that in the US, there's 31.2% of homicide victims are male, and only 3.6% are women. So this is a complete and total lie, because and men make up almost 80% of all homicides recorded worldwide. So feminists pushing this, women are the ones who are violently attacked, women are the ones killed the most. This is a lie. However, I will give them that when women are murdered, it's usually their spouse or their partner who does it. And so, like, the whole domestic violence thing, they push that too.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you bring that up, because most guys today are literally frightened to death of touching a woman. Like, we don't want to make an advance. We don't want to catcall. We don't want to touch. We don't want to get violent. We don't want to get physical. We don't even want to participate in rough sex, because you can just take the bruises and run to the cops. Like, we don't want to do nothing. So that 3% or whatever makes sense to me, like a tiny amount.
Yeah.
And your point about when it does happen, it's a spouse beating on another spouse. Okay, I get that. But there's two kinds of violence. There's physical violence, which is easy to see and obvious, and people like to make a huge deal out of it.
Yes.
But there is also emotional violence.
Yes.
And it is invisible, intangible, and it often goes on for a very long time before someone snaps and becomes physical in return. But who talks about the emotional violence going on in the world, in society? And how much emotional violence is being committed by men or by women or by feminine-leaning folks or masculine-leaning folks? How much emotional violence is happening? And is the physical violence we see the same as the emotional violence that's going on? Or is it much less? Is it, there's way more physical violence than emotional violence? Like, this would be interesting to hear people talk about or discuss. I'd like to see more studies on this. Do people even recognize that emotional violence is a thing and it exists, and it's something that feminine-leaning folks use on people all the time and get away with because no one can call them out on it? And then someone ends up snapping or becoming violent because they don't know what else to do in the face of this emotional turmoil and manipulation and gaslighting and whatever, blaming and victimhood and so on. And so then what are they supposed to do? We're too scared to get physical, but we're not educated enough in emotional violence to spot it or call it out. So it just keeps hitting us in the face. And so what is the partner supposed to do? Like, they're in a rock and a hard place. You're putting someone in a serious corner. And so what are they supposed to do? It's get violent, leave the relationship, or kill yourself. Like, give up on life, accept the abuse.